What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about the medal exchange, which is going to be updating, moving on into the month of July. So let's have a look and see what kind of characters are going to be available. We're going to break down each of them and determine whether or not they're worth it for their given price point, and let's see what they've got in this month, okay? So shout out to Mr. Mats for going ahead and creating this infographic. I believe it was him, if not it was Godot from the One Piece Treasure Cruise subreddit Discord. Shout out to those guys for this infographic. But first of all, let's start from top to bottom, okay? 400 medals. We've got Super Type Smoker, and we've also got Super Type Luffy. Now, honestly speaking, if you don't have Super Type Luffy, for 400 medals, yeah, you pretty much have to get him. This Luffy is an insanely powerful unit, and it still sees a lot of play, like, still to this day, and honestly, is like still one of the best legends in the game. A very, very great unit, strength, free spirit fighter. He's a Luffy character. He has access to fantastic supports. He's got a great captain ability. If you got a strength or recovery slot, your strength characters get a 5x boost. You got an HP and a recovery pool boost. You know, like he's a really good unit, man. A fantastic super tight special, giving all your characters a 2x attack boost. Like, if you don't have this character, you should definitely pick them up for 400 medals. Unfortunately, Smoker, not really that good. I think he's probably one of the worst, if not the worst, super type legend in the game. He's definitely one of the worst ones for sure. He just doesn't really do too much. His special ability is pretty useful though. You can use it as a sub on other quick teams, which is okay. But unfortunately, a majority of the special is just bad. Like, his immunity thing is just terrible. And the actual boost that he gives, it's a 2.5 attack or orb boost to your quick units, depending on what type of buff you already have active on your team. It can see play, but a majority of the time, it's not really that useful. But one thing that is good about Smoker is his amazing support effect, attaching to any quick unit. And when they do a damage dealing or a health cut special, you get a 1.75x attack boost for your quick characters for one turn. This support sees a lot of play, like especially Super Type Kaido that just came out. Very good for him. You can actually attach it to the Ace versus Akainu. On Akainu's side, you can attach it to him as well to give your quick units an attack boost if you're running a more quick-centric team, or if you just want your Akainu to do more damage, you can just do that. So there's lots of uses for it, I feel. The support anyways. The sub, unfortunately, just doesn't see as much play as we would have liked to have seen anyway, but you know, I don't think he's worth 400 medals. I would say wait a little bit more time until he maybe drops down to 250 medals. It's probably going to be a while before he drops to 250 medals, but you know, I just don't think he's worth wasting all of those medals just for a character like that. But for Luffy, I definitely can see many situations as to why you would want to go ahead and get him for 400 medals. He's really, really worth it. Moving on to the 250 medal tier though, we've got Onami. Onami's still really solid. I mean, doesn't see that much play as a captain. Her special's pretty good though. You have obviously self-proccing defense down conditional booster, has the potential to heal as well. And if you're at full HP when you launch her special, you remove enemies' defense down and then apply the defense down conditional. It's pretty cool the way that it's kind of structured. Her support is really good, attaching to Sanji or Kinemon, and when you launch their special, reduces enemies' defense to 0. Such a useful effect to have. And the thing about her is that she will be receiving a 6+ relatively soon, either in the month of July or the month of August. One of those 2 months, her 6+ should be arriving, and it's a pretty good 6+. She definitely has some uses. So honestly, if you don't have her for 250 medals, I don't think it's actually that bad of a purchase. But remember, you probably should wait until pretty much the end of the month before the next shop comes out, just to ensure that you don't potentially pull that character in the next month's worth of Sugo Fests. So I would say hold off purchasing these characters to begin with, but I think Onami for 250 medals is not a terrible choice. CatDog though is definitely not a good choice. I would not recommend picking up CatDog for 250 medals. This character honestly is just like really fallen off a cliff. They're a dual unit with a pretty average looking captain effect because they only give a 4x boost to the Cerebral and Striker if you hit a perfect, and like they don't really do much else. Their special abilities like okay, I guess. Striker Cerebral attack boost and color affinity 1.75 to Cerebral Striker, and if you hit 2 perfects you get a 2.25 orb boost to Cerebral Striker. Like, it's just like whatever. It's a whatever unit. This unit desperately requires a 6+, and we know dual units don't currently have a 6+, but this is definitely one of those units that deserve it. This unit is so bad in today's day and age and severely needs a big upgrade, so I really cannot wait to see what they do with that if they ever give dual units a 6+ in the future. Next, we got Shiki. Absolutely not. Do not purchase Shiki for 250 medals. We're just going to skip past that. You just do not need this unit. But then we got Katakuri. Now, look, Katakuri, one of my favorite units in the game. He's a bunch of fun to use. But, like, is he worth spending 250 medals? Probably not. So this is the character we're talking about. This is the regular 6-star form. You really wouldn't be using this guy too much. I mean, the only reason why you would use this guy over the 6-star plus is the difference between the two is that this one, the 6-star version, gives you a 1.75 delayed conditional upon special activation. However, the Super Evolution will only give you the conditional boost after you've hit your 3 perfects in the turn you've activated. So you have to wait a full turn before you get your conditional. So you can partner up the original Katakuri, this 6-star one, with like 6+ Usopp, for example, which can delay enemies through immunity buffs. That's a combination that some people use in Kizuna clashes to guarantee them some extra damage. So that is an option, I guess, if you want to run something like that. But most of the time, if you're going to be using the character on your actual team to actually like try and clear content that's like outside of Kizuna, typically you're going to be using this guy, who is definitely like usable. I personally have Limit Broke expanded this character. I've made a video actually with his Limit Broke expanded captain effect clearing content. I'll probably leave a link to that, hopefully, if I remember. But yeah, this guy's really cool. He has a bunch of fun with his delay mechanics with his captain effect. He becomes a great... I don't think it's actually listed here, but I think upon his Limit Break expansion, he goes to a 4x captain to Slasher Striker driven Cerebral Powerhouse. He's really, really hard to build teams for because the units on your team have to have both of these classes in order to get the boost, because each class gets one of these boosts and it multiplies together. So you need to make sure that all the units on your team have like these 2 classes or 2 of these 5 classes, which is... It can be kind of annoying, but if you do fulfill that condition, right, you get the 20% damage reduction, you get heaps of matching slots. And when I say heaps of matching slots, you get a lot of matching slots. And then obviously the delay mechanic is very, very good. Special ability isn't that useful in today's day and age though, unfortunately. I mean, he gives you the delayed conditional boost after 1 turn, but it's annoying that you have to launch his special ability in order to get the conditional boost on the following turn afterwards. It would have been nice if it was like a conditional boost that like you get it and then after 3 perfects it will just activate again. That would have been a lot better, honestly, but still a really, really cool unit. Is he worth 250 medals? Probably not. No, he's not a character you're going to be using in 2021 realistically. Moving on to the 150 medals, though, we have Cavendish, who is pretty bad. Let's be real here. Not Katakuri, sorry. Cavendish is pretty bad. But one thing about Cavendish that is kind of interesting, and I have used it a couple times in some of my videos, is the fact that this character has like a pretty good support effect attaching to any quick unit, and when they launch a special, it gives themselves a quick slot and boosts their attack and orbs by 1.5. Now, that's not like a huge boost. If you calculate it together, 1.5 times the 1.5 gives you a 2.25 times boost, which is like not that great, but remember, this is just from a support effect, plus you get a matching slot. Some characters you can use just for a utility boost, and you can give them a matching slot and then all of these buffs to make sure that unit hits really, really hard. Sometimes that's all you need in order to clear content. And I mean, moving forward into the future, with the newly released Sugo Fest exclusive King and Queen that just came out on Japan, a support effect like this that can give you a free attack and orb boost, which procs the abilities of King and Queen, in the future, this could actually be ridiculously useful. But as for right now, yeah, probably not so much. So 150 medals, you know, if he's like one of the only legends you're missing, potentially get him, but otherwise, not really. We've got Bato, who again is very similar in the way where you're not going to use him as a sub on your team, but the thing about Bato that's fantastic is his support effect. Very useful support effect that attaches to Robin or Cavendish, and it removes 3 turns of paralysis anytime you're inflicted with it during your quest. This support effect sees a lot of play because there's a decent amount of like good Robin characters, and just having the ability to just remove 3 turns of paralysis anytime you're inflicted with it is crazy good. So this is one that you may want to pick up if you're missing like none of these except for like Bato, then you know you may want to go ahead and pick him up because that support is pretty useful and does see some play. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. I mean, he's kind of okay, but as I said, you don't really use him as a sub or a captain or anything. He's not that good in PvP either, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for that. But then we got Doflamingo. Now, dude, Doflamingo is... I think it's pretty much worthwhile. If you do not have version 1 Doflamingo, you should probably get him. The thing about Dofi though is like this is his 6-star form, right? This is the one that you'll get from this guy. The blue Dofi evolves into the 6-star form. This guy is not that great. You definitely want to super evolve him. However, in order to super evolve him, you need these skulls. And if I remember correctly, I think the only way to get these skulls is by buying them from the treasure map shop. So it's actually kind of hard, especially if you're a newer player trying to super evolve this guy. But if you do get the opportunity to super evolve him, this guy is so good. I mean, just using him generically for a driven team, 3.5 captain, you got a health boost, you got matching slots, and then he gives your driven characters an orb boost. He does a little bit of orb change. Like, he's actually like, pretty good for regular content. Again, if you're more of a newer player, if you don't have good driven characters, he's usable. But the big thing obviously is because of his Pyro Rumble stuff. His Pyro Rumble stuff is so insane for slashers and driven teams, and slasher and driven are like two of the best teams in Pyro Rumble right now. Very good. Has a great special ability as well that does like really good damage. He gives your characters defense buff, and he also gives your slasher and driven like a crit buff. I actually didn't even realize he gave a crit buff, but the defense is the big thing, giving defense and then a huge amount of damage with an amazing passive. This guy is amazing in PvP, and his support effect, which I actually use quite often, attaching to any driven character, and if they do an orb change special, so orb conversion or orb randomization, just any type of special that changes slots around, you can attach it to that type of driven unit, and then it gives them a driven characters an orb boost, 1.75 for 1 turn. So, like, just for example, you could attach this to, like, Super Type Kaido, who gives you a full border matching slots upon activation, which gives you the increased damage taken to the enemy, plus you've got this for an orb boost as well for your driven characters. Like, that's just one example, but this is, like, such a good support effect, and I do use it a lot, so I think Dofi is by far and away probably the best character to buy out of the entire shop this month. I mean, yes, Snake Man's fantastic and all, and he's really good for content, but in terms of being a bargain, this Dofi for 150 medals is a steal. Definitely pick him up if you do not have him. So worthwhile. And then we move on to Boa, and we're just going to completely skip her because you do not need this character in any way, shape, or form. She is not good in PvP. She is not good in regular content. I guess you could probably say her support is like the only redeeming quality about the character, but even then, it's not like a god tier support. Her 6+, of course, attaches to Luffy, Sanderzonia, and Marigold. If they use a special, recovers 2500 health and changes left side of your team into matching slots. Like, it's okay, but again, it only attaches to Sanderzonia and Marigold, which don't really have that many good units, and like Luffy already kind of struggles because like you've already got so many other better supports that you would probably want on Luffy, like Rayleigh, if you want like utility, I mean like Halloween Ace, for example, if you want a stat boost, if you want support Sabo, like there's like Vankov to remove poison. There's so many other supports that you could probably put on Luffy that will help you clear content. But then again, you never know. Maybe you need the heal. Maybe you need half your team to get matching slots, right? It's a very obscure support effect. But I mean, outside of that, she's pretty bad in almost every other facet. So just don't worry about Boa. And then you've got Whitebeard. Now, Whitebeard is also one of those characters that is like pretty bad in like every way. The thing about Whitebeard that's kind of interesting though is that he's not terrible in PvP. This unit in PvP has an interesting special ability. It's not even listed here, but he's got a really low CT. Like, I think it's less than 20. It might be like around 20 or something. But he like gives like all enemies are inflicted with like a huge health. It's like between like 40 or 50% or something. Like, it's crazy how good it is in PvP. But he's like, his passive in PvP is absolutely terrible. So that's the give and take of this character. In regular content though, he's absolutely trash. Bad captain ability. Special ability isn't super useful either, unfortunately. And his support effect is just giving, I think it's 10%. Yeah, 12% stats to a strength character. Like, it's just whatever. Like, this unit is just not that useful. So I wouldn't pick up Whitebeard, but I mean, it's unfortunate. It's not a very good shop update this month. I think Snake Man is definitely worth it. Onami is a maybe, like a hard maybe. And then out of the 150 medals, if you need the good support of Bato for the paralysis reduction, not terrible. And also you got Doflamingo as well, who's easily the best character, I think, in terms of value to pick up this time around because he's good in PvP, one of the best units in PvP, should I say, plus a fantastic support effect. And if you are lacking powerful driven units, then this character is going to help you out as well. But I guess with all that being said, hopefully this gives you guys a bit of information and a bit of insight as to upcoming Sugo Medal Exchange and what to pick up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.